With every kidnapping or attack, this young Nigerian relives the nightmare of weeks spent under Boko Haram's control.
We asked them repeatedly why they are doing what they're doing. They told us this is an all-out battle against Christians and Muslims.
On August 22, 2014, Stephen witnessed the sheer brutality of Africa's deadliest terror group.
We were working on the farm when Boko Haram attacked us.
It happened in Gwoza, 550 miles from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Hundreds of Islamic fighters stormed Stephen's town.
It was well coordinated. They attacked in huge numbers, going from house to house, stealing, destroying, then capturing men, women, and children.
This is video of the assault put on YouTube by Boko Haram.
They attacked Gwoza because it is predominantly a Christian town.
Several hundred people were killed, including members of Stephen's family.
I saw them kill my father and brother. After the killings, they took 11 of us hostage.
Stephen asked CBN News to mask his face to protect himself and his family. He said the attack went on for several hours. 2 days later, Boko Haram's leader released this video declaring the Gwoza operation as the beginning of an Islamic caliphate in northeast Nigeria.
Thanks be to Allah, who gave victory to our brethren in Gwoza and made it part of the Islamic caliphate. We did not do it on our own. Allah used us to capture Gwoza. Allah is going to use Islam to rule Gwoza, Nigeria, and the whole world.
Stephen was held by Boko Haram for months and says he saw their brutality up close.
We watched them carry out their evil atrocities from one town to another. Each time they went on an operation, they would usually chant Allahu Akbar, and this terrified us. They'd return from the attacks with dozens of prisoners and stolen items. The men guarding us always came around to question us whether we were ready to be part of Boko Haram.
Meanwhile, in another part of town,
they asked me if I wanted to be beheaded or shot in the head. I told them I'd rather be shot. They said no, they would rather slaughter me instead.
We've taken similar precaution to hide Elizabeth's identity. Like Stephen, Elizabeth is a Christian. She and her family were trying to escape Gwoza when they were intercepted by Boko Haram fighters.
They stopped our car and ordered us to convert to Islam. We refused. Then they shot my siblings behind me. My husband was ordered to leave. He fled into the bush and then they told me to get into their car.
Elizabeth was taken to a nearby town and again asked to convert to Islam. Again, she refused.
I stood my ground, and each time I refused, they put a knife to my neck and threatened to cut my head off.
But after days of torture, no food, and under constant threat of death, she reluctantly agreed to convert. Elizabeth described to CBN News how Boko Haram fighters forced her to undergo an Islamic conversion ceremony. They changed her name, told her to wear a hijab, and married her off to an Islamic fighter. Held against her will, she said she was repeatedly raped by her Muslim husband.
For all the horrible things Boko Haram did to me and my family, I leave them to the judgment of God Almighty.
After several more months of captivity, Stephen and Elizabeth miraculously escaped. The details of their escape are being withheld for security. Both are wanted by Boko Haram. And now both have joined some 2,000 other Christians living in this temporary camp outside the capital city.
And all of a sudden, they have been stripped of all their belongings, and they are living in places that are not their homes at all.
Mark Libdo has helped thousands through his Christian human rights group.
I'm doing this because people need to bring it to limelight. People need to speak about what is happening. If you don't speak about it, it's worse than those who are perpetrating it.
With the help of local churches, Libdo now feeds, clothes, and provides trauma counseling to hundreds of Boko Haram's victims.
There were many times while I was in captivity that I thought, if I got hold of a gun, I would have massacred the men who killed my father and brother.
The Nigerian army is conducting military operations to retake areas held by Boko Haram ahead of this month's presidential elections. Nigeria's leader, Goodluck Jonathan, has promised to deal with the terror group.
President Goodluck Jonathan has vowed to crack down on Boko Haram, not necessarily getting rid of them altogether, but creating an environment in his country that is safe and allowing millions of Nigerians to head to the polls.
but Nigerians aren't convinced he can do it. Boko Haram has killed more than 11,000 people in their Islamic quest, and they are promising more bloodshed in the northeast, leaving thousands of vulnerable Christians in their wake. George Thomas, CBN News, Nigeria.